Hello everyone, welcome back to Coding with Carl. This is episode 24 of the Zero to Android show, the show where you get to watch me wrestle with Java as a somewhat of a newbie to Java and Android development. So, if any of you are new to the show or you're just tuning in for the first time, I have a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel is Coding with Carl, and on that YouTube channel we have a Zero to Android playlist where you can watch all the previous episodes of this show. The previous episode to this show is not there because whilst I was uploading it last night, Android Studio decided to restart my machine and the upload failed, but it will be up there tonight. So as I said, this is episode 24, and I'm seriously considering doing 2 episodes tonight, back to back. I think I may do 2 hours if I'm not too tired after the first one. We'll take a break and come back, and we'll do a bit of a marathon session. Now, we are at the phase now with our app where I've wiped the data, so this is a clean install if you like. We can swipe back and forwards between days. And in those days, we have 30-minute time slots, and to those time slots, you can assign tasks such as brush teeth. And you can attribute those tasks to a goal, such as overall hygiene. And then it will return us to that slot upon adding a task to it. So we're in a good place. We do have a few issues now that we need to take care of, and the first one is that we have in our database over here, if you look at the slot table, we have this field here, slot size. Now this is there because half an hour may not be enough to complete the task that you're undertaking. So, for example, if I wanted to add something with, if I wanted to do something for 2 hours, then the slot size would be 4. And at the minute, we have no way of informing the UI what we want this slot size field to be, and we have no way of rendering how big a task is because of the way our list here is populated, our recycler view. So a few things need to change. First of all, we need to actually have in the UI some notion of size. So when I create a new task here, we need to have another field essentially that says how long you're going to do it for. And that makes things a little bit tricky here because it's not as simple as just clicking one. It's almost as if now we should add a new activity almost, or a step in between this and the goal selection that says how long you want this task to last for. And I'm sure there are better ways of doing it. I'm sure there are. I'm sure there's some kind of modal pop-up that we could use. But I think in the interest of getting as many of these features in as short a time as possible, we should probably go with the technique that we are comfortable with right now, which is the activity room, and then come back to it later when we start playing around with things like menus and modals and other UI widgets and try and refine the experience further at that point. So we will start by creating a new activity. That activity will be an empty activity. We will call it the what is it essentially? It's the timescale, it's the duration activity. And this is going to be really simple. It's going to be, maybe we can have like a roller where we just roll the size. Let's have a look. Generate layout file. Yes, we want that. Activity duration. It's not a launcher activity. We want all that, and that's fine. So let's create it. Okay, what's the problem here? Yes, add those files to Git, please. Okay, and we're going to need a user interface for this. So where do we? I guess it's right there. Look. I'll zoom in. I want to view it in design view. This is string.app name. Yeah, I've updated Android Studio, guys, so this is looking somewhat different to how it used to. I don't want it on a Nexus 4, I want it on my Pixel 2. I want to zoom in again. Zoom out a bit. Okay, let's make this a little bit smaller, give us a little bit more room to work with. Okay, so I need to find some kind of complementary input. Okay, this has changed somewhat as well. Seek bar, web view, image view, seek bar. What I'm looking for essentially is a select box, really. So multi-line text, no. Time, date, number, could be a number. Number signed. What does this look like? Let's have a look. That just looks like another text input to me. That's not really what I'm looking for. Number decimal, autocomplete, text view, no. What about widgets then? Is it in common? Button, image view, recycler view, fragment, scroll view. Don't think it's that. It's not a layout. Image view, video view, calendar view, progress bar, seek bar, rating bar, texture view, surface view, horizontal divider, vertical divider. I'm essentially looking for a kind of select box. Android development select box. And the rain has started to pour. Spinner. What's this? Is this something he's created himself? Wow, the rain is teeming down outside. Spinner. Let's have a look. There it is. So let's bang that in the middle. We'll lob that in the middle if you want to get Yorkshire. I'm going to constrain it on both sides. I'm going to probably put a text view in the top here just so that we have some idea what the hell is going on. Where's my strings file? Resources, values, strings. I'm going to have in here duration, title, that's going to be task duration, and then in here we can change that to where are you? Duration title, that one. Okay, and this I want to be centered. I'm going to do 16 all round. Good, and then here, how much? Hi THMCA, welcome to the stream. Let's constrain that to there, and then in here I need to have entries. Yeah. No preview. How do we use this widget? Pick a resource. Let's have a look at the Android documentation. Spinners. Here we are. Select one value from a set. You can add a spinner to your layout with a spinner object. You should usually do so in your XML layout with a spinner element. There we go. Yeah, we should definitely give this a name. So duration spinner. An ID, should I say. Also, I want to have nice 16 padding all around. And what have we got? Spinner adapter. Oh, of course we have an adapter for this. Oh, yes, this looks good. User choices. Must be provided through a spinner adapter, such as an array adapter, if the choices are available, blah, blah, blah. If the available choices of your spinner are predetermined, you can provide them with a string array defined in a string resource file. Okay, so let's create one. New values resource file. And we'll call this duration options. Source set, what's that? Main debug release, no idea. Directory name, values, yep, that's fine. Available qualifiers. Not sure what that is, so let's just create it. Yes, we want to add it to Git, and resources. In here, we can start to add a string array. Name, this is going to be duration options. And then we'll create items. We'll have, in HTML, you have a value and then text for that value. Can I not do that in here? Do I have any attributes that I can add to this? Wrong one. What is autocomplete? No suggestions. Interesting. So let's say then, how many slots do I want it to occupy? So it's going to be like increments of 30 minutes. How do I want that to be displayed? We could just do a simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not very user friendly, is it? So 30 minutes. 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes, 3 hours, 3 hours, 30 minutes, 2 YYP, 4, 5, 6. You know what, let's just max it out at 6 hours, because if you're going to do anything for more than 6 hours, you should have a break after. Fact. And then can we now use that in here? Entries, project, no, string, style, array, duration options. Okay. And then we'll need a button to say, okay. Put that down here. Constrain it to here, here, and here. Set our lovely 16 margin around the outside. And that button will be, it'll have some text on it, won't it? So it'll be duration save button. Accept. Okay. And then we'll need to change some things slightly, because when we come into the duration activity, there will be an intent. So it'll be intent equals get intent, and then we'll pass some things through, won't we? We'll have a task ID, we'll have, there should be a task ID, a timestamp at that point. Yeah. Nope. Import class, there we go. So we should be able to do intent.getInt extra. Nope. Task ID. Task ID. How did I say that? And then default value be 0. And we'll do that again. Will be timestamp. Default value 0, and then I can do if either of these things is 0, then we have a problem. So int task ID equals intent.getExtra, int dot timestamp equals intent.getExtra. If task ID equals 0, or timestamp equals 0, then we have a problem and we shouldn't proceed. So we'll do something like log.e call duration activity started with invalid parameters. What's the problem there? Oh, okay, so remember call, is it that? No, is it that? Ah, fail. Why can I never remember this? That? Yes, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, so we'll do that, and then else we can proceed. But what do we need to do there? We need to set a click handler for the button, don't we? I don't think we need that else statement. Else statement. I think we need protected. Can we get away with making that private? I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Private void click accept, and that takes a view. That's click accept view, and what's that going to do? That is going to pass through. First of all, it's going to, we need to get the slot size, don't we? So we need to do spinner equals find view by ID, and that's duration. No, it's not. It's r.id dot duration spinner. I'm amazed at how much of this I am doing from memory right now. That's a good sign. And then hopefully we can get from that spinner dot get how do we get the value of it? Is it here? Is it value? Let's have a look at the code for it. What do we have? Spinner guide. We have all sorts of stuff. Drop down selector, pop-up background, prompt, spinner mode, mode dialog, mode drop down. Do we have anything that says value? We have lots of things that say value because it's common. Okay. Get baseline. Return offsets text baseline. offset, width, gravity, it's not any of those. Get prompt, on click, resolve pointer, on touch event, perform click, set adapter, none of those, none of those, none of those, set gravity, no, 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 no. How do I get the result of it? There's got to be something, surely. Those are the constructors. Is there a usage example? No usage example. Android, get the value of a spinner. Get selected item. How did I browse over that when I was just reading the source code? Retrieve the current spinner item title, as in the string that is displayed to the user, but not its value if you match the int array onto the spinner, for example. To get the value of the selected item, like integer for value, for example, we should try to make it int array. Values array and file it to onCreate function, maybe from arrays. So we can use arrays value int. Wow, that sucks. So it looks like I can't actually have a value within. So you have titles and values, and this is your spinner. Then you code into the entries, find view by ID to string, and then get selected position, string size values, get resources, get string array. Wow, that's messy as hell. That is really messy. Like, why couldn't they have just done it the HTML way, where you just have in here value equals something? Surely that would have made a hell of a lot more sense. Okay, so I guess we're doing I guess we are creating a duplicate array right here called duration values that actually holds the slot size for each of these. And do you know what? We should do it this way. See in tag, can't do that. So that's going to be 1, and it's just going to be up to 12, isn't it? R2, R3, YYP, R4, YYP, R5, YYP, R6, 7. Could I just do this based on, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to do this programmatically. So I'll use the position and then I'll calculate it based on that. Because really, this is just a list from 1 to 12. So we'll do, we'll get the current position and add 1 to it, and that'll give us the size. So int slot size equals spinner.get current position. Where is it? Get selected position. Okay. So that returns an int to int. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll do something along the lines of, so it's that plus 1. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we will create a new intent. Intent equals new intent. And then what is that? Context. How do we do this now? I've forgotten. Context. I'll just use this. Can't remember the next. Let's look at something else where we create an intent. Goal activity. Here we are. Intent, new intent, and then the class that we want to send it to. So it's going to be. Where are you? Where have you gone? It's going to go from here to the goal activity dot class, and we will do intent dot put extra, and that's going to be, actually we're going to put a few extras in here. We're going to put, yeah, I think else this dot task ID equals task ID, this dot timestamp equals timestamp, and obviously they need to be declared up here. Int task ID timestamp, and then down here we can do first of all task ID, this dot task ID, timestamp, this dot timestamp, and this one is going to be slot size, this dot slot size. Nope, just slot size. There we go, and then we can do intent or start activity. Activity. Thank you. Intent. Okay, what's missing? What have we done badly here? Well, one thing is that we should probably declare public final string task ID slug equals task ID. Public final string. What is the problem with that? Public static final string? Ah, of course, yeah. No, still not with you. Public static final string. Ah, string with a uppercase string. Task ID slug. And we'll do that again with timestamp slug. Slug. Timestamp and slot size slug. Slot size. Now this is kind of masturbatory, if I'm honest, because we could just be responsible adults and remember what the slugs for these are, but it does make things a little bit easier in terms of taking advantage of the autocomplete to do it this way. C word. This dot task ID slug, and then this dot timestamp slug, and then this one, this dot slot size slug. Slot size. Okay, quite happy with that. This is nothing groundbreaking. We've done all this before, but what we do need to do now is break the flow almost of what we do after the task activity. So the task activity now gets past the timestamp, but when we move on from it, and that happens in 3 places or just 1 place. It happens here in click create. This intent should in fact go to the duration activity. And we will also have in our task adapter the same thing. We have on click and this intent here, this should go to the duration activity. Where should I keep these constants? Because I'm using them throughout the whole workflow. Should it be the planner activity? No. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in focus lib, because that would be the first place I would look for something like this, I think. yeah, I'm going to take them out of here. And I'm going to put them in focus lib. And then I'm going to reuse those all the way through. So planner activity, I don't believe has any of them. Intent.get extra timestamp. Yeah, I'm going to use it there. I'm going to use focus lib dot timestamp slug. And let's just do a search for intent just to make sure. That's the only place that's used in that file. I'm going to close that now. And then, yeah, same here. So anywhere I do put extra or anything to do with extras, I should see it. So there's one there. Let's replace that. Focus lib dot timestamp slug. This will be focus lib dot task ID slug. Next, here we are again. Focus lib dot what was that, timestamp slug. Focus lib dot timestamp slug. And I have got derailed here. I'm going to forget where I was, so I should probably make a note of what I was doing there. And that we'll do next time. And what am I doing? I am breaking the program flow to accommodate duration activity. Okay. Train of thought is so important, guys, but sometimes you end up doing something that is important so that you don't cause bugs in the future. So we've done goal activity, goal adapter would be next, and anything extra, there we are again. Focus lib dot timestamp slug. Next, that's the only one in this file, let's get rid of that. Planner activity, we've already done that one. Planner fragment. Extra there. Focus lib dot timestamp slug. Next. All good. Planner pager adapter. Nothing in there. Planner rec adapter. Extra, there it is. Focus lib dot timestamp slug. That's the only one in there. We have an error in here. What's the error? Where is the error? Access can be private. Well, that's not a fatal error. Something's not right. I wonder if there's like a something where I can just jump to the errors. Because I'm not. Ah, wait, what's this? It was there a minute ago. Yeah, I'm not seeing any errors here. Next. Is it because we're not including focus lib? Okay, the error is now magically gone. Task activity. Here we are. Focus lib dot timestamp slug, and this one focus lib dot task ID slug. So task adapter, last one. Focus lib dot timestamp slug. D word. Oh, come on. D word. D word. D word. Focus lib dot task ID slug. Where's it gone? Task ID. Okay, so that was the task adapter. So that is going to take us through to the duration activity class. That's fine. And when we get through to the duration activity, we look for those extras. Focus lib dots task ID slug. Focus lib dot timestamp slug. And then we need to change these, everything that says this here to s this dot to focus lib dots. Let's get rid of the dots. Lovely. So then that sends those through to the goal activity, and the goal activity will pick those up, and it also needs to pick up the slot size now as well. So we have up here, let's get rid of that because we don't need it anymore. This is going to be another private integer, and this is going to be slot size. Let's keep the same naming convention, and we will look that up here. This dot slot size equals intent dot get int extra focus lib dot slot size slug default value 0, and we should also check that that is not 0. This dot slot size equals 0. Timestamp slot size or task ID. Okay, and then from here we're either going to select no goal, store a goal, or we'll create a new one. So there's 3 places in which we are writing into the slot table. This slot size now should be this dot slot size. And that should also happen in the goal adapter here. This dot slot size. Ah, we don't have slot size, do we? No. So we need to make sure that we initialize this adapter with that as well, slot size. Where does that get passed in? Let's have a look. Task ID. There, there. Int slot size. This dot slot size equals slot size. And when we create this, when we create the adapter, we need to pass that through. So we can make that this dot slot size. Why? What's the problem there? Cannot resolve symbol. Because it's like the parent or something, and I don't know. That's it. Okay. So goal activity. When we create the adapter, where do we create the adapter? Adapter there. This dot slot size. Okay. Now, unless I've forgotten anything drastic, this should work. And to test that it does, I'm going to put a breakpoint in. It's going to be in the rec adapter here for Planner. When we pull the data out of the database, are we selecting? Where do we do that select? Is it in the Planner activity or Planner pager adapter? No. Planner activity. Where do we do that select? Must be the rec adapter. No, because we pass the cursor in, don't we? Planner fragment, that's where we do it. So here, select timestamp gname from slots. So we also want to get slot size from this. So we'll do s.slot size from slots. Yeah, I think that data should be there now. What else? Where do I want to set that breakpoint? I think I want to do it when I'm looping through the slot entries. What is the cursor called? The cursor is called slot entries, yeah. So when I'm looping through the slot entries here, if there's more than one, then I want to, I think, set a breakpoint around here. Not 8, F8. There we go. And we're going to run this in debug, and I'm going to make sure, I don't think I've got any other breakpoints open, but let's have a look at our application as it stands now. If this runs, it'll be a miracle because we've done like 45 minutes worth of refactoring without running the app. Okay, here we go. Waiting for the debugger. Okay, so we're here already, and I have a holder, a position, a current item, and it has, that's, yeah, so that is the slot item. And then I have slot entries, and this has a count of 1. It has columns, slot sizes in there. Where is values? Columns count, driver, edit table, query, stack trace, window closed, current row ID, set observable, extras, position, updated rows. It doesn't look as if I can actually look at the data inside this. I have columns. Where is the data? Can't see it. Maybe I'm going blind and I'm missing things here, but I cannot see it. And I'm not sure whether I can evaluate things here in the debugger. Let's have a look. Can I evaluate things? Console? Can I do slots entries dot get integer? Get int, and then what would it be? Slots, or is it in fact, yeah, it's the column index, so get index 4. I guess not. Guess I can't evaluate that. Show execution point, run to cursor. What's this? Evaluate expression. So slot entries dot get int column index 4, please. Backtrace. Couldn't read row 4. Oh, is it 3? Evaluate. Result equals 1. That's great. So it looks like everything is honky-dory. So where are we? So now if I am at today, and at 20:30, which is in 15 minutes, I'm going to take a short break. So short break, go. And let's say that break is going to last 1 hour, which it's not. It's going to take 5 minutes, but let's just say for the sake, this button I haven't set a string to yet, and I haven't set the click handler. Yeah, two critical things there that need to be done. Where are they? They are in the, first of all, the interface file for this, which is the duration activity, and where is the layout file? Duration, that one, activity duration. And this button, first of all, needs to have some text. That text will be accept that. And the click handler needs to be set. Where's the click handler? On click, there, none. So I think that it's because this is private, and it probably needs to be either protected or public in order to do it. Still not there. Public. There it is. Click accept. Save. Rerun the app. We're going to jump straight over this one. 2100. Code hard. For 1 hour. Accept. Takes us through to goal. The goal will be become the iron fist of code. Create. And then we are back, and now I want to evaluate slot entries dot get int 3. Result equals 2. That's great. So we've added slot selection into our workflow. We've stored it in the database against the proper row, and now we've seen that it's coming back with a proper slot size entry. So the next thing, the next place we need to go from here is to be able to show, when we are rendering this list, that that slot, that particular slot, takes up 2 spaces. And that's going to be a bit of a dog, because we've really got to think about how we want to do it. At the minute, we have an adapter that has 2 inputs. It has an input which contains a number of, basically just an array of objects, and each of those objects has a label. And it just says, this is 8 o'clock, this is 8:30, this is 9 o'clock, this is 9:30. And these are the timestamps associated with those slots. And we loop through those, and as we're looping through them, we check against the other source of data to see whether that slot is occupied. What I need to do instead, I think, instead of having these 2 inputs and then operating on them both whilst I am populating the view holders, I should probably, when we create this, or when we pass in these 2 things, and where is that actually, thinking about it? I guess it's here, yeah. In this constructor here, I should probably bind those things together, and in doing so, I can create a more condensed list. And what I can't do is make, or maybe I can make the height different. See, this 2100 here, this has got a slot size of 2, so that actually needs to be big enough to encompass both of those slots. Maybe I can do that. I think that's what we'll try and do. We'll start in here. To do bind data sources together for easier rendering, so that we'll, instead of having these 2 things, we'll just have one slot list, which will already have both of these input sources bound together. And then we will render this whole thing differently depending on how big the slots are. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So we are coming towards 10 minutes left in this episode. If anybody has any questions about anything I've done tonight on the stream thus far, please feel free to put that question in the chat now so that I can answer it for you. I think this is a good place to go from hour 1 to hour 2, and I am prepared, I think, to do another hour tonight. So what I'll do is I'll take a look at our to-do list, check the code in like I normally do, answer the questions, then take a short break, and then come back. What have we got? So we've done this. We broke the program, yeah, and then slot size. So it is fun, this, actually. Slot size. So now that we have a way of capturing it, we need a way of displaying it. And I have these notes down here. So how do we handle this? Well, no doubt break our list entries here. So perhaps a smart thing to do is populate some data before pushing it to the adapter, or having the adapter build the dataset before creating all the views for it. That's exactly what we're going to do. So that is the next job. Yeah, great. Have you started this project just now? Thank you for the question. I haven't started it just now. We're on episode 24, which means we spent nearly 24 hours now working on this. So that's how long it's took us to get to this point. And before I started doing the stream, I didn't have any experience with Java or Android development, despite having been a professional programmer for a long time. I hope that answers your question. What else do we need to do? We need to check this into version control, and there's a lot of changes to commit. Yep, look at this. Mad changes. On version files, what have we got here? Yeah, not sure I need any of those. Do I? Not important just for now. So commit message, end of episode 24. Is episode 24, is it? Yeah. Episode 24. Created an activity to capture desired slot size. I guess that's it. Yep. Nice and simple. Some files contain problems. No errors, 19 warnings. Yes, still commit. Yep. Yes, commit. Wow, Android Studio. You're not my mom. All right, guys. I think this is a good place to take a break, so I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be back after making a cup of tea in around 8 minutes, something like that. Okay. If you're watching this on YouTube and you missed any of it, then everything is available in the playlist, as I'm sure you've already seen. Yeah, so that is the end of the episode. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in 10 minutes.